expectations, and requirements that you are agreeing to. First things first, you are obtaining personal funding, not business funding. The credit lines being extended to you, the client, are in your personal name, not a business name. Second, funding arrives in the form of credit cards. There will be multiple lines averaging between $3,000 to $30,000 each. Some credit cards may be liquidated. We call these cash lines. Cash lines are still credit cards, but credit cards that allow you to pull up to 100% of the available credit via check or balance transfer. Not all clients will qualify for cash lines. Third, you will have multiple lenders requesting a copy of your credit report as a result of using this service. It is very important that you do not make any additional credit inquiries before or during the term of this consulting agreement unless you receive prior authorization from us. Fifth, all fees must be paid upon. Sixth, while you have met our pre-qualification guidelines, you have not yet applied for or been approved for funding. Seventh, there are separate fees besides the ones we charge you that you should be aware of. Withdrawing cash from a credit line can incur additional fees that are charged separately by the lender for providing those funds to you. Most banks or lenders charge around a 3% cash advance or balance transfer fee. Some may simply charge a flat rate amount or a percentage, whichever is lower. For example, 3% or $250. Or they might not charge a fee at all. Others may charge you more. Make sure you know your bank's policy for cash advances or balance transfers before you complete one. Eighth, we do not guarantee approval or a minimum amount to be approved with an individual lender. Multiple lenders are required to meet your funding request in most cases. Ninth, you might be required to communicate directly with some lenders and follow their own loan submission procedures. However, please try to avoid communication with lenders directly while we are applying for your credit lines, unless we ask you directly to contact them. Please try not to answer any calls from numbers you do not recognize until funding is complete. If you receive a voicemail, please alert us. When banks attempt to communicate with you, it typically means that there is an update we need to check the status of. 10. If we ask you to contact a lender, you must do it within 24 hours. Some banks will require additional identity verification procedures. 11. You agree to immediately notify your assigned account manager via fax or email of all approval and 12. With revolving credit lines, there's always the possibility that a lender may perform a soft credit pull after you receive a line of credit from them. This simply means that they check your credit without creating a formal record of it. If your credit has changed dramatically or there is clear risk of you defaulting, they may discontinue your access to credit. To learn more about this, please see our replacement funds policy in the contract you signed. To review, there were 12 major components of our agreement. We want to ensure that you remember. It is incredibly important to be aware of all the details of all financial agreements you enter into. Make sure you understand everything by rewatching the video or downloading it for your personal reference.